So hi everyone, welcome to the SQL PLSQL training, which is organized by the Learnomate Technology. So just before starting with the topics and everything, so first of all, I will just tell what is the Learnomate Technology and what we are doing and what we are offering, which type of trainings and all. Then we will start with the demo session for this SQL and PLSQL. In that, I will just explain you the syllabus as well as a few of the topics. So you will be on the track what will be the PL SQL and what will be the SQL and how the syllabus or how the content will covered. Okay, so first of all, I will share my screen. Yeah, so I'm sharing my screen. Hope it is visible. So basically, we are the Learnomate Technology, and we are providing the training on various topics. Okay, like as an Oracle SQL, PL SQL, Oracle DBA, Oracle Golden Gate, and many more technologies. Okay, so we are providing the training as well as we are providing the 24 by 7 support. We are providing the placement assistant. We are providing the assistant for creating the resumes and lot of stuff we are providing. So this is our website, which you are seeing on my screen. So that is our website. So we had given all the respective detail over here. So whatever the content, whatever the services we are providing, that all the things are listed over here. Okay. Then how many students are registered with us and how many got certified. After this course completion, we also provides the course completion certificate for you. Okay. So which is on behalf of an Learnomate Technology and which is for the individual student. Okay, so this is about just a short introduction to what we are. Then after we are also having one YouTube channel that is nothing but the Learnomate for technology only. We are having the 22K plus subscriber. Okay, and we are having the around 1200 plus videos on our YouTube channel related to different various topics. Okay, so in that we also having some of the videos based upon the SQL and PL SQL. Okay, so that also you can just refer for just a short introduction. Okay, so that is our thing. So I had just told you that who 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 we are. Okay, so now I will just tell about myself. So myself is an Naresh. So I am having the IT experience of 10 plus years of an IT experience in working with multiple MNCs. I had started my career as an Oracle SQL developer. Then I had moved to SQL PL SQL and continue from there. Still, I was working as an or senior consultant as an Oracle SQL and PL SQL. Okay, so this is just a small introduction about our Learnometer and as well as myself. Okay, so I am your trainer. So going forward, if you enroll for this course, so I will be your trainer and I will take that training. Okay, so hope that is good enough for you to for my introduction as well as the course introduction. Okay, so I think so screen is stopped. So first of all, today I will just show you what is the syllabus or what is the SQL and PL SQL and what contained, what syllabus we are going to take or our entire training, first of all. Okay, then we will go for some of the topics which are important or we can just call it as in a for the demo, we will take few of the topics. So will be easy for you to get understand the syllabus as well as the content which we are going to cover. Okay. So basically, this course will having two types of modules. Like as in a first one is an SQL, second one is an PL SQL. Okay, so what is the first of all SQL? So SQL is nothing but the structured query language, which is having some basic SQL commands. Okay, that we are going to cover. Okay, so I will write over here. So basically, what we are going to cover is it is the SQL and plus PLSQL. Okay, so both things we are going to cover, but how this SQL and how this PL SQL will relevant. Okay, so they are having the interrelationship. So we can see that here is an SQL and in PL SQL we are having the SQL. So PL SQL is nothing but the combination of SQL as well as the procedural language. So first of all, we will come with the SQL. So what is this SQL? It is the structural query language. structural query language. So it is the structural query language. So what is the structural query language? Means suppose if I'm having the database, okay, and from the database I have to fetch some data, like as an if you are surfing any type of a mobile application, okay, so that time you will search for different types. Or if you are on a Facebook suppose, and you are searching, you have to send a friend request to me or someone else, okay, so that time you will search into that search bar my name or XYZ person name, and then it will comes up to you. So how it will come? So it is stored in somewhere into the database, okay. So and after clicking on that search icon, you type the name and you click on again search, so that time it will try to retrieve that respective database, okay, retrieving that database and showing up on your screen. That is nothing but the searching, okay, and that all will stuff will get happen because that data is stored in somewhere into the database. So that is the database. So SQL is nothing but the Oracle database we are using here, and in this Oracle database our contents are stored, okay, and we are trying to fetch that content by using this language. So basically what is the language? Which is used to communicate between two persons or two entities, okay. Like I am communicating with all of you, that is I'm saying something and you are understanding, because we are using one communication medium, that is nothing but the language, and that language is an English as of now, okay. So in English we are communicating and you are understanding what I am saying, okay, so that is the medium. So here also we are having the communication between the system, that is on a front end screen like as in Facebook screen, and the backend screen as a database. So we are having this language. So it is a structural query language. So that is the language. And what so this is for the language. So L is gone. Then after, what is the query? So query is nothing but the, if you have to fetch something from the database, so that time you have to write some query. Query is nothing but the one statement or one respective formatted value that you have to write, and based upon that you will get the output. Okay, so in Facebook just you will write to what you have to search. So suppose you have to search some name like as an uh, Ajay. Okay, so you have to search this name into the Facebook page, and you have to send a friend request to this particular person. Okay, so that time you will just write there and search there. So what will happen in background? So it will write some query automatically. Okay, so that query will write, and that query will give you the result. So how to write that respective query? Okay, so front-end user means you are not able to see, but who is the developer or who had created that respective page, he was able to see that query, or he will know that how the functionality is working. Okay, so that is nothing but the query. But every language, it is having some structure. Like if we are speaking into the English, so English is having some words, then letters, then pronunciation, grammar, everything it is having, means it is having some structure of that respective language. So here also in SQL we are having the structure of that respective language, so we call it as an SQL, that is nothing but the structural query language. Okay, so for writing any type of an query into one structure, that is nothing but the structural query language. So that is the simple thing we have to know here. So it is comes under the SQL. So suppose now I had told you that this is the query. So but how we can write this respective query? So I'm just considering you that you people don't know the SQL as of now. Maybe some of them have, some of you having some exposure of SQL, PLSQL as well, as you maybe had worked on it. But simply suppose that you don't have the exposure. Okay, so if I have to write the query. So if I'm just writing one query on my screen. Select star from employee. So what is this select star from employee? So this is nothing but the query. So here I'm just selecting some of the data. Star is nothing but the data. Okay, and from, this is the table name. So we are having some table formatted over here. So where we will store all of our data in SQL. So we will store it into the form of a table. So a table or views. Okay, so this is my table. So if I run this respective query, so I can just click here this play icon and I can run this query. So select star from employee. So my this query was executed, and see I am getting one table in front of me on my screen. Okay, so what this table is contained now, so this table is containing all the informations of my employees which are working with me or which are working with some XYZ organization. Okay, so we are having their employee number, employee name, job, their manager, employee ID, hire date, salary, commission, and the department, the respective things we are having. Okay, so this is just a small piece of the content. Okay, so you can, if you have to add few more columns here, like as an address, city of the working, where what is the experience of that employee, so all that details also you can add into the form of a different column. As of now we just have here the 8 columns, but we can increase the column size as well. Okay, so I can increase the 9th column as an address, 10th column as a city of working, and so on. Okay, so that's why that's how I can increase. Then after second thing, I'm just having here the 10 rows. So this is called as in rows. So you can see 1 to 10 over here. So if I have to add a few more rows, okay, so I can add, because in future, suppose I'm having currently, or XYZ company is having 10 employees. So suppose in future they will hire some 11th and 12th employee. So they have to add the same employee into the same table. Okay, so that feature also will SQL will provide. So we have to write the query into one structural format. Okay, so that query will give you the result, and it will give the 11th row, 12th row, 13th row, whatever the rows we are trying to insert, that it will be insert. So so structural means we have to write one structural instruction to the database that please insert this record or please add this respective record. But for that there is one format, like as an insert query, update query, that we are having the delete query, alter query. So that different types of a thing we are having. So this is just a simple statement for fetching the data. Like suppose I'm just written this one and I have executed this one. So I'm just getting all the respective data from my table. So when you're searching the name of that respective person, that respective name is also in that database stored into that respective database. So that's that. Suppose you are searching for the name of an Scott. Okay, so on Facebook page, you are searching SCOTT. Okay. So that time you just have to see the Scott information. So we are having some additional functionality. So this is my different structure. So where I will write name, that is an e name, which is equals to Scott. Okay, so what is the format, how I'm just writing, what is the single quote, what is the semicolon, just forget about that. Just I'm just telling you the concept now, what is the SQL. So we will concentrate first on that only. So if I'm just executing this one, so now I'm just getting the single record, that is nothing but the employee Scott. So how I get this? So because I had given here some condition, so this clause is, this where is called as a clause, and in this clause I'm just adding this respective condition. Okay, so let's start from employee, where employee name equals to Scott. So if you are searching the Scott name on the Facebook page, so in background what it will run, it will run this type of an query, and it will give you the result. Okay, on your front end screen it will give you the result. So now this will query will run, structural query will run into the background. Okay, so structural query is nothing but the SQL is nothing but the it can able to run thousands of an query one by one. Okay, so it will run first query, then second query. If you are performing 10 operations at a time, like as in searching some name, then after clicking some other operation, and clicking every button is nothing but the in background some query will run. Okay, that is for sure. So that so whenever you are just clicking anything on the front end, in background some query is running and it will showing you the data. It is not for the Facebook page, it is for any type of a website. Okay, so this type of structural queries will run. Okay, but suppose you are doing some operation, like as an adding some data, or you are just going very speedily on your Facebook page or any other page and clicking on various multiple links, okay, at a time. So that time executing the single queries is very difficult, like as in first execute first query, second query, third query, fourth query, and hundred of query if you have to execute. So it will be bit difficult. Okay, so that's why what is the what concept will comes into the picture, then the concept of the PL/SQL will comes into the picture. So now what is first of all PL/SQL? So it is nothing but the procedural language. Okay, so it is procedural language. procedural language, procedural structural query language. Okay, so I'm just writing here in short SQL. Okay, so that is nothing but the procedural query language. So what will be the procedural means? Now in SQL, what we will do, we will write simply just the select queries. Like here I had written, but in PL/SQL, what we will do, we will write the different combinations of an queries. Like as an we are having one concept of an anonymous block. Okay, so in that we will write declare begin and end. Inside that declare begin and end or that respective anonymous block, we will write the piece of the code where multiple select query will get executed. Okay, and that same will executed by a single block. Like we will have some block like this anonymous block. It is called as an anonymous block declare, then begin and the end. So this will be the just the skeleton. Okay, in this skeleton we will write the different types of an code, how we can write that one and how it will get executed. So all I'm going to tell you that, but for the concept, just understand that we will having one anonymous block with this respective structure, and in this we will write the multiple select queries, and the select query will get executed in a single go. If I just select over there, or if I just click over here and I just play this, I click on this play icon, so it will start executing whatever the queries, number of queries I had returned on that respective database. Okay, so that is the difference. So SQL is able to progress a single query at a time, but PL/SQL is able to query the multiple queries as well. Okay, so means multiple query. Why the multiple query concept is came now? Because if you are accessing the Facebook page for searching XYZ person name, and that time your friend or me or some other person, means lakhs of people is accessing the same Facebook pages. Okay, so how it will go? So that time the concept of the PL/SQL will come. If there is an one user, it is sufficient to have the SQL and execute that respective query. But if there are lakhs of user, thousands of user, crores of user, so that time executing one by one, it is not possible. For 10,000 user, if it is the system is that much powerful that it can execute in within the fractions of second, 10,000, 1 lakh even. Okay, because the processor speed nowadays is very high, so lakhs of records they can progress within the fractions of second. But if there are crores of record, because it so few websites are using the worldwide, so that time it is very difficult to fetch the data, or it is very difficult to give the performance. Okay, so that time the concept of the PL/SQL will come. So they will execute the queries into the fractions of seconds. Okay, multiple queries at the same time, means multitasking they can do. So the PL/SQL will comes into the picture. So basically PL/SQL is nothing but the procedural query language where we can write the different types of an anonymous block. So here we can write the anonymous block, anonymous block, then after procedure, functions, and the packages. So there are multiple concepts. Okay, so not only these four concepts are there into the PL/SQL, but we are having the multiple concept. Okay, so in that multiple concept, we are having few of this. Okay. So in the multiple concept, we are having this few of this. So in this, we will write the piece of code, and whenever we are executing that piece of code, it will give me the output or result based upon that respective queries. Okay, so that would be by respective query. So just I have to tell you in short this one. Okay, so now we will just go for the contents. So what we are just going to cover over here, so we are having this contents which is based for my SQL things. Okay, so first of all, these are the introduction to SQL. So we will take what is the introduction to SQL. So we had already seen the small piece of introduction for the SQL. Then we will cover the different data types. So data types, like if you have gone through the Java or any other programming language, so they are also having the data type like as a character, then integer, then different types of an boolean. So like same SQL is having the different types of data types, and we have to cover all that respective data types and how it will functions. Okay, then I had given you some select statement. Okay, so we are having the DDL, DML, commands. Okay, so we are having the four types there: DDL, DML, TCL, and DQL. Okay, so but I had combined it here only in only two only. So we are having the DDL and DML commands. Like, so DDL is nothing but the data definition language, and DML is the data manipulation language. In this we are going to cover all these respective commands. I'm not just reading out each and every command to save the times. Then we are having the constraint, like as in what is the primary key, foreign key, and what is the unique key, like that. Then we are having different types of clauses. So just to add C in the where clause, so we are having this all different clauses. So we are going to cover that as well. Then we are having few operands, like is an and, or, between, less than, greater than, and so on. Then we are having some aggregation functions, like as an count, mean, max, average. Then conditions, then views. What are the views? So as I told you that we are having two concepts, that is a table and the view. We will store the data always into the table or into the view. So this is nothing but the concept of view. Then indexes, sequences, subqueries, then string operations. There are multiple string operations are there: union, all. Then the main point of an SQL, so that is nothing but the joins. Okay, so in joins we have to suppose. So now what is the thing? So here I had just given in this respective example, I had just shown you that single table in the select statement. I had just taken here the single table, that is an employee. Okay, but if I have the data into multiple table, like is an employee data in employee table, department data is in department table, and suppose any other branch related data that is in third table, and I have to show all that respective data on my screen combinedly. Okay, so that time we have the multiple tables. So I have involved three tables, like as an employee, department, and branch. Okay, so that time suppose I have to fetch the data from three different tables, so we have to use the concept of an joins. So by using the concept of an joins, we can fetch the data of a multiple table into the single query. So this is nothing but the joins, and we are having the different types of joins that also we are going to cover. And this is the most important concept of an SQL thing. Okay, so in SQL we have to use this concept most of the time, because this concept we have to carry forward into the PL/SQL also, because whenever you are just writing the queries for the PL/SQL, it we have to write into the format of an joins only, because there we will write the query for the multiple operations. So multiple operations means multiple tables should get involved, so that's why join is important over there. So these are all the contents which we are going to cover into the joins. Then after PL/SQL, so I will just tell you what contents we are going to cover into the PL/SQL. So first of all, the introduction and the anonymous block. So introduction I had just given in short, so we will take it in brief as well. So that is the introduction on what is the anonymous block. Then after, in other programming language also, we are having some loops and condition, like as an if else loop, for loop, while loop, simple loop. So in PL/SQL also we are having that all loops, and we are going to cover that as well here. And then we are having the record type which are used to fetch the data types of that respect to any type of a table. Then we are having case and decode. Then we are having the cursors. So cursors is nothing but the, so here, so see that the example which I had taken, it is just giving me the single row, means it is progressing a single row at a time. But suppose I have to check multiple rows. Okay, so because Scott can be the employee which is having, means one per means there are four persons. Okay, there are four person having the name as a Scott in my organization. So that time I have to progress the data of all four. Like as in Facebook, suppose you write a Scott in the search bar, so we will get multiple results, right? Not a single result. So you will get all that respective result, and from that you can just scroll down and you can select whatever you needed. So like that only we have to use, means it have to fetch multiple result. So that's why for fetching the multiple result we are having this cursor concept. Okay, so in cursor we are having first of all the cursor attributes. So these are few attributes, cursor attributes, which we are going to cover. And then we are having the cursor types, that is an explicit cursor, for loop cursor, or parameterized cursor. So these all types we are going to cover. Then after the exceptions is nothing but the, whenever there is an error in your code, it should not show to the front end user. Like if you are going to Facebook page and you are searching something, if you won't find, there is some custom message means user understandable message will come, so like the result is not, there is no record, or the result is not found, like that. Okay, so in backend the SQL will return the error, but we have to convert that error into the user understandable message, like as in no data found or there is no record, like that, so that we can cover into this exception. So how that exception will get handled and how it will shows to the user. Then we are having the concept of a procedure, as I told you that the main part of this respective PLSQL things. So we are having the procedures, we are having the functions, and then we are having the packages as well. And in between that, we are having the triggers as well. So the concept of an triggers also we are having here. Okay, so all these respective topics we are just going to cover in our session. So whatever the session we are going to conduct, in that we are going to cover all these respective topics. I had not told you topic by topic, but you can search this syllabus on our website as well, so to go forward. Okay, so these all contents we are going to cover. So if any doubt you are having into the syllabus or till whatever we had covered, so you can just ask me at the end of this session. Okay, so just for the reference, this will be going to be your syllabus. Okay, so now going back to my SQL developer. Okay, so here I had just told you that the simple definition of an SQL and the PL/SQL. But now if you say that I had just told you into the syllabus, we are having the multiple things like as in other programming language. As I told you that we are having the different types of an loop, we are having the different types of an data type. So this all the programming language have this feature. So similarly, PL/SQL is also having. But what is the thing? The writing syntax is just the difference. Other there is a no difference in that. So whatever the for loop we are using into the C language, that same we are using here as well. Whatever the while loop you are using or whatever the if else you are using, so same we are using here, and the functionality is same basically. But you have to implement or you have to write based upon the SQL or PL/SQL syntax. Okay, so that is the difference over here, so that we have to learn. Then if you are just going for learning some language like as in Java, okay, so you will get the knowledge of in Java, so you will be have to learn Java, then Spring Boot and so on. If you are going for the C, then you have to learn entire C. Then if you are going for the other languages like as in .NET or any Python or any other language. So that was the front end languages. But one thing that I have to tell you here, for every front end language, there is a compulsory backend language, because if there is no database, you are not able to store anything over there. Okay. So if you don't have database, you can't store anything. Even in your mobile phones also, there is an inbuilt database. That's why you are getting everything stored over there. You are storing your contact list. Okay, so that is also going to store somewhere into the database. That's why it is going to show to you. Okay, so database is the concept, or SQL PL/SQL is the technology which are not going to die anytime. Okay, so if you are upgrading Java, you know there are just simple Java, plain Java in start. Now there are the different types of, we had reached to the Java version 8.0 and plus also. Okay, then after we are having the Spring Boot, we are having the different types of versions of Javas. Okay, so that are the advancement here into the SQL PL/SQL. But that time also SQL PL/SQL was standing, and now also it was standing. Why? Because database technology will never die. If you are having front end, you compulsorily need the database to store that somewhere. Okay, so that is just, I have to tell you that why the SQL and PL/SQL, or why any type of a database language is important. Okay, so if you know the front end language, you have to know the basic of the backend languages as well. Okay, and if you know the advanced, that is very useful for your career and your growth as well. So that is the important thing. Okay, so this all about the respective syllabus and the introductory part. Now we will just take one example, or we will start with one of the concept, that is nothing but the anonymous block. Okay. So I will tell you first of all what is the anonymous block, how it will work, and what are the functionality of this block. So in start only, I just told you that there is a procedural language. So procedural language means nothing but the we will write different types of statements, like as in select statement, update statement, insert statement, or any other number of select queries or different types of an query, and we will execute that respective by using the anonymous block. So basically anonymous block is nothing but the package, okay, or that the collection in that we are dumping all the respective statements, select statement or the queries, okay, and then we are just executing that respective query to get some respective standardized output. Okay, so what is this anonymous block? To just execute the respective statements, okay, or I will just write to execute the multiple queries. We will use the anonymous block. Okay, so we will use the respective anonymous block. So now we are having some structure for this respective anonymous block. So as I told you, it is having the structure as in declare, begin, and the last one is nothing but the end. Okay, so we are having this simple structure of an declare, begin, and end. Sorry. So we are having the simple structure of this declare, begin, and end, and inside this we have to write the our code. But what is the declare, begin, and end now? So declare is nothing but the keyword itself. It is indicating that declare is nothing but the we are declaring something. Okay, means if I have to write some variable like as an a variable in other languages also, you are declaring the variable, suppose a b c d or I j k. So that variable, suppose you have to declare anything you have to declare, so that will be going here. So declaration of objects. Okay, so why I had just written here the objects? So I had written here the objects because the declaration can be for the variable, it can be for the cursor, it can be for the any other objects as well. So like that. Okay, so that's why I had just written here the declaration of an object. Okay, then after begin. So what is this respective begin and end section? So we have to write our logic. So main logic we will write over here. So inside this begin and end we will write our main logic. So whatever, suppose I have to do the addition of two number, okay, so that time I will write my main logic over here, or addition logic. Okay, so that will be nothing but the anonymous block. So now first of all I will just take a simple example to print some messages. Okay, like say any other any programming language, if you start to learn, so there will be one thing that you will get a program to print some hello message or something, so just a message. So here also we will start with the same, and then we will take one advanced example also. But here first we will start with the printing some message. Okay, so suppose I have a requirement to print some message. So print the message PLSQL developer, or I can just modify it like as an I am a PLSQL developer. Okay, so some people will call it as an PLSQL, some people will call it as an PLSQL. Okay, so both are the same, so no issues. So I'm just writing. I have to take one example for printing the message. I am a PLSQL developer. So whenever you will get the requirement of writing the anonymous block, so you have to make sure that whenever there is a question, so it is a simple question, that's why just one statement is there. So how you can just do that? So you have to break that respective statement. So here they are saying that print the message I am a PLSQL developer. So how we can print the message? So for that we need the anonymous block. So first of all we will just simply write the anonymous block. So declare begin and the end. So whenever you got any question or requirement, don't think for the entire requirement. Just think, just break that respective requirement into the parts and just try to complete that one. If you are going to try everything in one go, so it will, of course, it will go into the error, or it will have some
respective code bugs. But if you are breaking into that small parts and then you are writing the code, so that will be the easy. Okay, so that was my even personal experience as well. I will also do even that way only. Okay, so here print the message, but how we can print? By using the anonymous block. So whenever you are just have to use this anonymous block, just simply write the declare begin end firstly, and then after you can just write here your code. So now it is required, so this declare section is required, so we have to just print the message. So in PL/SQL, how we can just print the message? First of all, so in like as in Java, we have the system.out.println, we are having here the dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. So it will help you to give that respective message. Okay, so dbms underscore output dot put underscore line, and whatever the message you have to write, that you have to compulsory write into the single quote. If I'm just not giving any single quote, or I'm just giving single quote, so it will throw error. So whatever the message you have to write, you have to write into the single quote. So I'm just copying the same message like as an I am PL/SQL developer, and I'm just pasting it here. Okay, so if I had written this one, and this is used for printing. So if I have to compile this one or I have to execute this one, there are the several ways. Okay, but I will just tell you that one way. So here in if you are using the SQL developer, you are having this play icon. Okay, so you can just click on here, keep your cursor here. Okay, inside this respective block anywhere, and then after click on this respective icon, so you will get the respective message. So here you are getting two messages. First of all, I am a PL/SQL developer, so whatever we are just giving here, that message you are getting, and the second message you are getting, that is nothing but the PL/SQL procedure successfully completed. So why this second message you are getting? Because I had told you that PL/SQL is nothing but the procedural language. So you are able to see the output whenever the procedural, or whenever the anonymous block, or whenever any type of an respective statement is executed. Okay, so here that respective anonymous block is executed. This anonymous block is nothing but the one kind of an procedure only. Okay, so that's why they will always this message, if your code compiles successfully every time, so you will receive this respective message always, that is an PL/SQL procedure successfully completed. So this was the compulsory message only. So here our custom message whatever we had given, that is coming, and then after here the standard message. Okay, so now suppose I'm just clearing this output. Okay, and I'm just changing now this respective format. So I am writing here the dash in between the PL/SQL. Okay, so PL-SQL. So now I had modified the message and I'm compiling it. So first compilation, I had told you that you can just click on this respective icon. Second, you can press Control Enter from your keyboard. So I'm just pressing from my keyboard. So it is executed. So see, I had modified this time the message. So output is also got modified. So if you are writing suppose something else here, so I'm just writing in bracket. So you can just get that as well. Okay, so whatever the message you are writing into the single code, that is going to print over here. So there are no issues of that. Okay, so it is the custom field, you can write anything over there and you can just get it printed. Okay, so this is the one thing that for printing any type of message. Okay, so here you can see that in this declaration section till now I had not written anything. Okay, so I had not written, so why it is needed? So it is not needed. Suppose I had removed this respect to declare, because there is a no variable I'm declaring here, and I'm just executing this begin and end block, still it will execute properly. There is no error or no anything. So I can say that here into the definition only, it is not mandatory. So it is not mandatory. Okay, so it is not mandatory. Similarly for the begin and end block, but if I'm removing any type of a thing that is begin or end, so that time I will get the error. So I can say this is the mandatory. I'm just writing the mandate. Okay, so this is the mandatory, and the second one, that is nothing but the end block. So this is also the mandate. Okay, this is also the mandatory. If you are not writing this respect to any of them, like as in begin or end, so it will surely give you a error message. Okay, so if I'm just not writing this semicolon also here, and just I'm trying to execute, so see I had just removed semicolon from here, and now I'm just executing it. So it is giving me some error message, right? So what is the error message? So you can see that encountered the symbol end of the file when expecting one of the following. Okay. So end of the file, there is something needed, means at the end it is needed something it is saying. So you have to understand what you are missing. So why you need this semicolon and everything, because this is the structure of that respective language, and PL/SQL is combination of an SQL and PL/SQL, and PL/SQL. Okay. So that's why structure means you are missing some structure. If you are removing the semicolon, means you are missing the structure. That's why it is giving me the error. So if I'm just writing the semicolon again and I'm just compiling this code, so I'm just getting that same message. Okay. So this is for just printing the respective message. That is nothing but the I'm a PL/SQL developer. Okay. Now we had not used this respective declare section anywhere. Okay. So I'm just taking the same example. I'm just copying the same thing on my other tab. So I'm just opening the new tab here. So here is a declare begin and end. So now I had not written here the declare. So now what I will do, I will just write declare here. So how we can just declare now? So here in declaration, we have to give suppose some variable, like I'm just giving some variable, like as an A, I'm variable. This is the variable name A. And then after you have to give simply the data type. So we are having multiple data types into the PL/SQL. From that, I'm just selecting one. That is nothing but the varchar 2. Okay, so varchar 2, which is used to represent the character values. When we are going to study or when we are going to see this respective data types, that time it will be more clear for you guys. Okay, so for just now, consider that this is the varchar 2, which is used for the any type of string value. So if you have to print your name, if you have to print this respective message, I'm PL/SQL developer, that you can just print over here. Okay, so I'm just writing A, then varchar 2, and then after the semicolon. So my this respective A variable is declared. Now if I'm just compiling, to see what will happen, okay, varchar 2. So whenever you are just giving the varchar 2, so whenever you are just giving the varchar 2, it is mandatory to give the size over here. So what number of a string you have to define? So I'm just giving here the 10. So means I have to print the 10 alphabets in that respective string. So I'm just compiling this now. So you can see this compiled, but same output we are getting. Okay, so there is no change into the output. Why there is no change? Because we had just declared this respective variable, we had not passed any value or we had not printed this variable. So now what I will do, I will just pass simple value for this one. So I'm just writing colon equals to, whenever you have to pass any value to this respective variable, so you have to write colon equals to into the PL/SQL. So here also I had just written the colon equals to, and I'm just printing now some value. So I will write here uh, some I work in India. Okay, so this is my another custom message that I had just given. So now I will just try to execute this statement one more time. So see, now I'm just clicking here, and now okay, there is some error. What is the error? There is an error at line number 2. So suppose, let's consider that. So okay, let me clear the screen. Let me recompile it. So sometime if you got the error as well, okay, so it will be sure for you will get the error while compiling any type of code. Okay, so you can see that now it is giving me at the line number 2. So you have to determine which line was that. Okay, so I'm just removing this one, and I am just if you have to add the line number into the PL/SQL, here you can just right click, toggle the line number. So it is gone now. If I just click again, line number will be there. Okay, so I'm just compiling it one more time. So at line number 2, so this is the line number 2, means you have to consider that the error is here only. Okay, then here you can see that, so numerical or value character string buffer too small. Okay, why string buffer too small? So I had given here the size as in 10, means it can able to store only the 10 respective character in this string, but how many character I had written here? So you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. So I'd written here the 15 characters. Okay, and I just given the sizes in 10. So that's why the error is coming. Okay, so by this way you can just understand the error as well. Okay, so my error is this. How I can just resolve it? I can just make it 20 or something more than this respective value. Okay, so that time it will not give me the error. So now I'm just clearing it and I'm just recompiling the code. So I'm just compiling it one more time. So you can get that this respective string. So there, how we can identify the error. So error will always come, but you have to, you should be able to understand that error and you have to resolve that. So here also we are just giving some examples which are having the multiple error, and you have to solve that. After when I after taking few of the examples practically, I will give you that examples and I will give you the code as well which is having the multiple error, and you have to solve that respective error by your way. If you won't understand, I am there to help, but first of all you have to try that. Also we will do in our sessions. Okay, so here what I did now, I had just given this A and I had just given this respect to custom message. But again, the same output is only coming. This value is not coming. Why this value is not coming? Because we had not printed this value anytime. So for printing, what we are using, so for printing as well, we are using the same string that is nothing but the dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. So I'm just putting this same, and then after I'm just writing here the variable. So which variable we have to print? So I'm just writing here the A. So that A variable I'm writing, and the semicolon. Semicolon, we always have to write the semicolon after every DBMS statement. So now if I'm just clearing this one and I'm just compiling this respective code. Okay, so now see, I'm just getting the two rows. I am a PLSQL developer. The second one is an I work in India. Means the second, this respective A is also getting printed. So we can print both of that respective rows over there. Okay, so this is nothing but the one thing. So I had told you the declaration part. This is an declare, then after begin, and then after end as well. So all that three things I had just told. So here we are just giving the A, then we are printing the one custom message, and then we are printing the value of an A. So similarly, we can give we can do the addition, multiplication, subtraction, or any other combination of that respective code, and we can just print that respective output. Okay, so this is the simple thing. Okay, then after this is the declare begin and end. So in this anonymous block, we are having one concept of an exceptions as well. So inside this begin and end, we are having one more field that is nothing but the exceptions. Okay, so I had not told you this before because we have to go step by step only. Okay, so these only 4 points we are having into the anonymous block. The first one declare begin, exception, and end. So exception, what is the exception? Whenever there is an error. Now a few minutes back only we are facing some error. So that will get displayed to the front end user, but it should not get displayed to the front end user. So that's why the exception concept will come into the picture. So we will give some custom message like there is an some error occurred. Please contact to your system admin. Okay, like that error message sometime will comes on your screen as well. So that time of an error message we can give by using this exceptions. Okay, so exception is bit means lengthy concept, so that we will not going to take now. We'll take it in our sessions only. So now just I have to tell you that how it will work. So here just simply I had written the declare begin and end, and this is also the not mandatory. If you won't write this exception, there will be no error. Okay, if the exception part you don't have to define, you can ignore this as well. Okay, and you can write simply the code by this way. So if I'm just recompiling it once, so you can give you it will give you the this type of a result. You can combine the code any number of times. Okay, so I'm just compiling one time, two time. So that is not the thing. You can combine n numbers of time this code, and you can get the respective outputs. Okay, so this is all about the declare begin and end. So there is one more example for the addition and subtractions. So that also we can just take it out, but I think so we had crossed about our limit of today's time. So maybe you people are having some other activities planned. So that's why we will stop here only for today, and we will continue with the second example on tomorrow. Just before closing, I am giving you a few minutes to ask the questions if anyone is having related to the class and what contains what we are going to cover and all.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, this is Zulfi from Noida.
Yeah, hi. Wilfred.
I have a question about the language. Could you teach us in Hindi as well?
It is depend upon the participants. If we are having few participants which can understand only English, so first of all we are having the preference of an English only. But you can contact with the backend team with the name given into the chat. So if there is a Hindi batch, so we can just plan out you in that batch.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Sir, what's the duration of this course?
There will be the 45 or 2 months of an entire course, but 45 sessions around we will plan. But which is not things, if we are having difficulty doubts or if we are having, so it can be extend or we can just having that one, but around 2 months of an period.
Okay, so per day 1 hour.
Yeah, per day 1 hour, Monday to Friday. If required, we can take on weekends as well.
Same timing, 8:30 to 9:30.
Yeah, 8:30 to 9:30, same time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Guys, anyone else having any questions? Okay, so seems no one is having questions. So you can see in the chat there is a contact number. So you can just reach out to the team for any type of an concern, like as in a course duration, course timing, course language, or course content, how it will works. Any type of question, it will get addressed. Okay, so no issues. You can reach out them anytime, any time. We are having the services by 24/7. So you can contact it. If any doubt, just reach out them. If it is not, you can just go to our YouTube channel and you can comment there as well, so we can get back to you. Okay, so we'll having the session tomorrow as well, so feel free to join and feel free to ask the questions as well if you are having any. Okay, so this is, I'm just concluding with this one for today's session if we are not having any questions. So thank you for joining, all of you. Thanks.